winners. You add 8 former NASCAR Nextel Cup champions. You add 1 newly crowned NASCAR Busch champion. You stir in over 190,000 diehard NASCAR fans. And add a national television audience, folks. That should all be 500 miles of fun. Glad to have you with us. Sit back and enjoy as the pace truck pulls away. Martin Truex and Jeff Gordon will lead him down. NASCAR fans on their feet as the chase gets underway at Texas Motor Speedway. Sailing down the backstretch, first time pole sitter Martin Truex wants to lead the first lap. Jeff Gordon has already dropped a spot back to 3rd.
And you see some of the cars moving to the top of the racetrack already. The track is a little bit dirty up there. Nobody's run on it yet. These are the first few laps. The drivers need to be careful right now. Get that top dusted off.
See, Jeff Gordon struggling still here on the top side of turn 2. He struggled in practice yesterday, and it looks like the car's not quite where he wants it, at least in these early laps.
He was 31st quickest in practice yesterday. He's concerned about this car a little bit. He's talked to his teammates. They put an alternate setup in it. They feel like they're ready, but it's yet to be seen.
Rusty said you could hear the concern in Gordon's voice during that final happy hour session. He said the car was loose, and suddenly tight in the corner. Very concerned. 24 dropping back. Let's check in his pits with Alan Bestwick.
When I talked with his crew chief, Steve Letarte, in the garage this morning, Doc, he wasn't that concerned. He said he and Jeff had to make an appearance together last night. They spent 15 minutes in the back of a car getting there, and in that time decided on the changes they'd make to that car to go from the end of practice yesterday to the start of the race today. They were only a few. They felt like the conditions would come to them as the race went on. We'll see if that turns out to be the case.
We see A.J. Allmendinger on top of the racetrack now with an obvious problem in his car. And what a tough deal for him. He qualified great for this race.
Stay up there. You got a long lineup coming.
He may have brushed the wall coming off the corner here.
Got to be ready.
Whoa! His teammate Vickers almost gets it out of shape and gets right into the other car. He gathers it back up. Allmendinger obviously slowing down.
You got about 10 more coming.
So he's already struggling here. He's got looks like he may have a problem. Denny Hamlin gets in the back of him. Man, he hit the wall pretty good right there.
Oh, yeah, Denny got in the back of him, turned him sideways, and he couldn't hold on to it and got in it. But you're right, Andy. It looked like there was already a problem with his car early in this event.
Yeah, they were battling for 4th position because Allmendinger had qualified 5th. Here are the 2 championship contenders. Jeff Gordon left of the screen, Jimmy Johnson right. They are currently being shown in 5th and 6th spot.
And guys, can you believe it? These two can't shake each other at all. Everywhere we go, they're bumper to bumper. A lot of people are saying, are they going to race each other today? I don't think so. I believe they're going to be aware where each other's at. But, man, they got to race this track, Andy, and the rest of these competitors.
So it looked like Jeff Gordon was struggling pretty good in the beginning, but it stabilized a little bit right here. It looks like his car's kind of come in. Track's getting a little slicker. These tires get a few laps on them, and looks like he may be okay. We heard Steve Letarte say that they hope the track would come to them, and maybe that's what's going to happen here.
Here's the 42 car, Juan Pablo Montoya, who won at Infineon early in the year, leading in the Rookie of the Year standings. And he will be leading the race as he comes out of the turn here, turn 2, and just sails by Martin Truex in the 1 car.
Man, he's got this baby hooked up now. I was down there in the garage this morning talking to some guys, some crew chiefs, and the consensus was this 1 car was going to drive off in the sunset on this first run. But boy, Montoya's not letting this happen at all. He's got his car hooked up.
No, not at all. This Chip Ganassi Felix about his racing team. I mean, they get stronger and stronger. And yesterday, the other teammate, Reed Sorensen, was 3rd quick in practice. I talked to Montoya. He said, this is the car, Rusty, that I had in Indianapolis that ran so well for me. So I really like this car.
Martin Truex hugging the bottom of the racetrack, but no, now back in 2nd spot. Jamie?
Well, Doc, this is his 79th start for Martin Truex Jr. And when he started this race on the pole for the first time, his crew chief Kevin Magnon said, this is the first time we're ever starting in the front. He said, be ready. We're going to make some crazy calls and set the world on its end. Hey, they have nothing to lose. They're 12th in the points, so we're going to watch Martin Truex Jr. Alan?
And I talked to the new leader, Juan Pablo Montoya, just before the start of this race. Juan Pablo did not know really how his car was at the end of practice yesterday. He said, we didn't put the fast lap on the board like other guys. I felt like it was okay, but I'm not really sure. I guess we're going to find out. Well, I guess we just found out.
Good race car left of your screen, Montoya, and here's the points battle. Here are the teammates as the 48 of Jimmy Johnson trying to go by Jeff Gordon on the racetrack and in the point standings.
Jerry, it doesn't look like his car's in too bad a shape. He's got a lot of racing here left in front of him, a lot of time than just. And Andy, this car is a lot better than we anticipated it was going to be in practice. In practice, he was in big time trouble. The car doesn't look too bad right now.
But you got to know that this team is so good and so much depth in it that they're not going to, even though they have a bad practice, doesn't mean they're going to race bad, and they're showing that right now.
You got to wonder, Jimmy Johnson was the fastest car in happy hour, and we've already mentioned that Jeff Gordon was 31st. Do you think they work together as far as trying to help the 24 out, even though they're running against each other in points?
Absolutely, Doc. These guys get together probably after every single session and compare notes. Even though their driving styles are different, I know that these guys are talking to each other and they're going to get this thing right. And Chad Canals cares if this 24 runs good. He wants it to run good. They want to race this thing out on the racetrack.
What about a former Indianapolis 500 winner and Formula One winner, Juan Pablo Montoya? He is the early leader, the 32-year-old from Colombia, showing the way here at Texas Motor Speedway. Welcome back to the Great American Speedway here in Fort Worth, Texas, and we are under caution quickly here this afternoon. Lap 14, there's the culprit, the 15 car of Paul Menard on pit road getting some repair work done. Let's show you what happened to Paul up in turn 4.
Looks like Paul just got high in the racetrack, went at turn 3, trying to be really run that high line, and Andy, the car just got out from underneath him. Looks like he got a little too high.
It may have got just outside of that groove there. Even though these cars are running extremely high, he was about a half a width higher than most of them had been.
Watch Clint Boyer just get by now. He's third in the points, so a pretty good evasive move by the 07.
Yeah, you can see he was going right at the wall, and he got so close to the wall. His initial entry, he shot right up to it, the rim ride, the top of it, much like Dale Jr. and some of the guys have been doing. But he just got about a foot too high, got up in that dirty part of the racetrack, and the back end of that car came around on him.
You can see him keep driving the car to keep it off the wall. Did a good job.
First caution flag of the afternoon. Here they come on the pit road for the first time. Championship contenders, 48 Jimmy Johnson, 24 Jeff Gordon. Let's go down to the pits and Alan Bestwick.
Well, Jeff Gordon's team may be about to play the first strategy move of this race, Doc. Steve Letarte waving at his crew like they may take 2 tires here on this stop. Gordon slides into his pit stall. They'll go around to change these right side tires. The bottom left box on the screen, that's Letarte, top left. Let's see if they take lefts when they come back around. Nope, just going to be rights, Jamie.
And Chad Canals calling his driver Jimmy Johnson in. They want to go down on that Panhard bar. 1 round of make an air pressure adjustment in those left sides. He said he's loose in 4 tires. Jimmy Johnson's down and away.
We're coming hot outside.
So the gauntlet has been thrown down in terms of strategy. Here's the race off. Jeff Gordon only 2 right side tires. And Ryan Newman up 5 spots. Kenseth up 9 positions. Hamlin back 6 spots on that exchange of pit stops.
ESPN's coverage of NASCAR Nextel Cup Series on ABC. Brought to you by Allstate, the official insurance sponsor of NASCAR. Coca-Cola, thanks for drinking. And the Ford F-150, built Ford tough.
Back at Texas Motor Speedway, green flag waving here, and Jeff Gordon will get the 5 bonus points for leading a lap. And folks, remember, he took only 2 right side tires, as did the 99 of Edwards and the 17 of Kenseth. Guys, is that a good move to only take 2 rights for Gordon early on?
Well, it looks good right now. He got the 5 bonus points. He's out front, but we saw yesterday in the Busch race that this wasn't that good of a decision.
No, not at all. You saw Kyle Busch put 2 tires on his car yesterday and went to the back like a rock. Those 2 tires fell off awful quick.
Caution's out. Turn 2.
Caution flag for the second time today. This is the 84 of Allmendinger, who had already been slowing. And he had been on and off a pit road.
Good. Right-sided it.
Yeah, his problems are continuing here because of the damage earlier. Probably cut a right front tire.
Yeah, that car was really tore up because of the first part of the race and tore up a lot, so this probably caused a big problem. Let's take a look at his pit stop.
Now watch, they have a commitment cone at the top of the pit road there. See the 16 of Biffle trying to get around it, and apparently they've hit the cone. That will be a commitment cone violation by what we're being told is Biffle, Elliott, and Menard.
See, Greg Biffle just takes a left-hand turn, hits the 41 and the 43. Both of these cars get damage on the right front fender and have to spend some time on pit road. They were just victims here.
Man, I tell you, it just goes to show you guys, you got to be so doggone careful out there because this can happen to any one of them. The last minute, Greg Biffle tries to slide in and gets it.
And here's the reason for the caution flag this time. A.J. Allmendinger had that great qualifying effort, his best start of his career, 5th, and he had just brushed the wall on lap 2, and now he's hit it pretty hard and heads back to the garage area. Second caution flag of the afternoon. Back after these messages and a word from our ABC station. Back at Texas Motor Speedway, NASCAR Nextel Cup Series action under caution for the second time today. Contact for A.J. Allmendinger's Toyota, and he is headed down to the garage area. Our leader is Jeff Gordon by virtue of only taking 2 tires. They made the call to take 2. He took 2. Ryan Newman also took 2, as did Carl Edwards and Matt Kenseth. The car right behind him, by the way, Martin Truex, took 4 tires. We'll see if that how long the 2-tire strategy will work for Jeff Gordon, who got those bonus points and now has led the last 6 consecutive laps. Green flag waves. We'll see if Mr. Truex with those 4 fresh tires can do something with the 24 car.
Looks like a good smooth restart on everybody so far. No problems at all. Everybody's lined up, and these 2 leaders getting out of Dodge right now. Now, yesterday in the Busch Series race, we watched Kyle Busch take on 2 tires. It worked for about the first 4 or 5 laps, but boy, Andy, that car started falling back big time. Now, I know in order to do that, you got to have a pretty good handle on car, and Jeff might be having that situation right now.
One has to wonder what the thinking was with Steve Letarte, the crew chief for Jeff Gordon, in making the call, and obviously looks like a pretty good call right now. He's holding on. Let's find out, because our Alan Bestwick has already talked with him. AB.
Yeah, let's not wonder any long, Doc. Well, they only had 14 laps on the left side tires. The right side tires have been the heavier wear all weekend, so it wasn't that big a chance on not changing the lefts from that concern, from the tire wear concern. They got the 5 bonus points you mentioned before, and they got clean air. On these 1.5-mile track races for the last couple of months, it seems like the guy out front has been able to get away from the pack. The aerodynamic dependence of these cars seemingly has grown greater. That's what he was thinking. See what his driver could do in that clean air. We'll see how it goes in this little run of the race.
Well, you're exactly right. When it comes to that clean air is everything in the world. That is definitely what I call a Mr. Feelgood when you're driving a car. Your front tires stick real good. You can steer the car real good. And when you get behind those cars, it's like the front of your car is hydroplaning, sliding around, and that's not a good feeling.
Well, here's the one thing. Jeff Gordon's car did not look very good when the race started. So by taking 2 tires and his car not being all that good, I didn't think he would be able to hold the lead this long. But it looks like Martin Truex is just going to take it away from him right here.
Yeah, Martin's getting ready to dirty up that air a little bit in front of the 24 car. He sails by. And speaking of dirtying up the air and maybe a fender or 2, let's see what let's watch this 29 and 20 here a moment ago. Harvick in the 29, Tony Stewart in the 20.
And boy, Tony Stewart is right up the back of Kevin Harvick. That is one major loose condition. All the air is off the back of your spoiler.
He had Kevin Harvick. He finally just says, "Hey man, I give up."
Yeah, Kevin's like, "What's the deal, dude? I'm going as hard as I can do. Change lanes, do something. Quit running into me, you know." So that's not what you want.
They are battling for 11th and 12th positions. Here's Tony Stewart, who dominated this race last year.
Now, we better remind everybody, these 2 are friends. In fact,
look at Tony. He's waving out his window, too.
Yeah, Tony Stewart drives Kevin Harvick's Busch Series car.
You say are friends or were friends?
Well, they're maybe friends.
All right, caution flag coming out.
More time.
Debris in turn 3. There's the debris. So caution for the 3rd time today here on lap 28.
It's like a little rematch of the "Here, kitty, kitty," didn't it?
Yeah, I heard a little bit of radio transmission there. It says one more time, he's done. So I don't know who that was. We'll have to go back and find out. But somebody's mad between the 29 car and the 20. And guys, we're only 28 laps in this race. We already got tempers flaring.
Well, I don't know how much pushing and shoving I want to do at 193.5 miles an hour.
Well, not much. When you're running that fast around here, I mean, off of turn 4 is a tough corner. And turn 1, 2, 3, and 4. And Andy, what about the straightaways? They're pretty tough too.
I think this old racetrack stuff.
Tony Stewart had the frustrations last week, of course, in Atlanta after starting back.
He's not the only one out here. I was trying to pass the damn 26.
That's Kevin Harvick making comments about Tony Stewart, saying he's not the only one out here. I'm trying to pass the 26 car, Jamie McMurray. So they needed this caution right now to cool off a little bit.
And now, boys,
come on, calm down now.
Kevin Harvick, who don't see any steam coming out of the helmet yet there on the 29. Here's the 15 damage on the front of Paul Menard's car. Remember, Menard spun on lap 14 to bring out that first yellow of the afternoon.
This looks like some new damage. I don't remember seeing his left front fender tore up that bad after that first spin.
Now, I make a prediction. If they pit, Jeff Gordon's going to put 4 on this time. That's for doggone